Some draft moves show up on the screen as picks. Others feel like a message leaking out of the building by the way the room moves. The Patriots took Eli Raridon, already moved up for Gabe Jacas, ignored the wide receiver run, and now head into day 3 even looking at quarterback. That does not feel random. That smells like a plan being protected behind the scenes. Hit that like button because today we are reading the signals, not just the names. What stands out to me with Eli Raridon is not just the size or that physical package that makes scouts raise an eyebrow. It is the timing. New England waits, stays patient, already moved the board to secure Gabe Jacas, already put Caleb Lomu into that protection wall. And then, when a lot of people expected another loud move, they take a tight end to sit behind Hunter Henry. To me, that is a very clear behind-the-scenes read. The Patriots are not just building the September roster, they are preparing the next version of this offense. And look, I get why people look at the injury history and hesitate. 2 ACL tears early in his career are not nothing. That probably helped push Raridon close to the 4th round, and any serious NFL room had to put that on the table before making the call. But that is where the conversation gets interesting. Because when a player over 6'6", with long arms, big hands, real athleticism, and the ability to block in the run game is still sitting there, you do not only ask what he was at Notre Dame, you ask what he can become in the right building. His production was limited: 48 catches, 623 yards, and 3 touchdowns. You cannot sell that as the resume of a ready-made star. But it would also be lazy to call this pick a waste just because the raw numbers do not scream. Some players enter the league carrying stats, some enter carrying tools. Raridon is a tools bet. And in Foxborough, with Henry as TE1, he does not have to walk in tomorrow pretending he is a complete answer. He can learn routes, timing, leverage against linebackers, blocking details, professional routine. For a young tight end, that is gold. And I will say it as a real fan. After years of watching the Patriots try to patch pieces of the offense, I like when the franchise takes a player before the need turns into panic. Hunter Henry can still produce, still lead, still be the adult in the room. But he can also be the perfect mentor for a kid who, if he stays healthy and develops the right way, gives this offense the kind of piece Josh McDaniels knows how to use. Big target, middle of the field, red zone, heavy formations that can suddenly become passing threats. So no, I am not buying the cold take that Raridon is just a project. A bad project is a blind swing. A good project is when traits, fit, and patience all meet. And this pick feels exactly like that. Foxborough betting that his ceiling is bigger than the fear that pushed his value down. And when we talk about behind-the-scenes movement, Gabe Jacas is the kind of pick where you can almost hear the table getting slapped behind the door. The Patriots did not sit there waiting for the draft to fall into their lap. They sent picks 63, 131, and 202 to the Chargers, moved up to 55, and did it after already being aggressive earlier. That detail changes the read. 1 trade-up can be opportunity. 2 straight trade-ups start looking like identity. Eliot Wolf and Mike Vrabel are saying, through movement, that they do not just want to fill holes. They want the exact kind of player that matches the new temperature of this team. A lot of people expected Jacas to be gone before the middle of the 2nd round. So when Wolf says he was a little surprised Jacas was still there, I believe that room saw a value leak on the board and attacked it. And the profile explains the urgency. He is not that edge rusher who lives only on pretty burst, wins 1 rep, then disappears for 10 snaps. He is heavier, stronger, more stubborn. Dane Brugler talked about his powerful technique and aggressive playing temperament. Lance Zierlein painted the picture of a defender with more force than flash, someone who can play with his hand down or standing up, and who has the look of a long-term starter if he develops the right details. For New England, that speaks directly to a wound on the roster. The Patriots ranked just 19th in pass rush win rate last season, lost K'Lavon Chaisson in free agency, and needed someone who could walk into that room without asking permission. Harold Landry III and Draymond Jones bring presence. Jacas brings collision. Aaron Schatz put it well. 19 sacks over the last 2 seasons at Illinois, dedication against the run, and a fit as New England's 3rd edge. But I will take it further. If this kid absorbs contained discipline, expands his pass rush plan, and turns power into variety, he will not be stuck in a small role for long. And there is one line from the player himself that sounds built for Foxborough. He said he loved how the coaching staff challenged him physically and mentally and called it his brand of football. That is pure behind-the-scenes compatibility. That is not just a player enjoying a visit, that is cultural fit. Vrabel wants toughness, pursuit, courage against blockers, players who run to the ball without negotiating effort. Wolf used that exact language: toughness, determination, grit. According to him, the coaches were ecstatic to land the player. So yes, I am going to defend this pick hard. Jacas may not be the flashiest name for people who only watch highlights, but if you are rebuilding a defense that needs to intimidate again, he is the kind of piece that changes the conversation on Sunday. Less sparkle, more impact. Less parade, more punch. Now hold on to this read because this is where the draft starts talking through silence. 17 wide receivers came off the board in the first 3 rounds, 9 in the 3rd round alone. Names a lot of people connected to the Patriots were gone. KC Concepcion, Dejon Stribling, Denzel Boston. And New England? Nothing. They did not bite. They did not jump into a desperate run. They did not make a pick just to say they helped Drake Maye with a receiver. To me, that is the kind of silence that deserves noise. Because if the Patriots were truly unsure about the bigger plan at receiver, it would have made sense to attack the position there. The roster needs a difference maker. Drake Maye needs someone who forces defenses to change coverage, someone who helps Romeo Doubs breathe easier, opens space for Demario Douglas, takes weight off Mac Hollins, and turns a stuck 3rd down into a real threat. And even with a class considered strong, they passed. That is where the name that has been circling Foxborough for weeks comes in. A.J. Brown. The signal read is getting harder to ignore. Philadelphia has had that kind of internal post-June 1 timeline hanging over the conversation. The rumors kept circling, and the Eagles' moves only fed that feeling. They already went and got Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay. Then they moved up in the draft to take Mekhi Lemon at pick 20. They also added Eli Stowers, a tight end with a receiver-like profile in the 2nd round. When a team starts stacking alternatives in a room where there is already an expensive star, one who has dealt with some knee issues and turns 29 in June, you do not have to scream conspiracy to see that something may be getting set up. And on the Patriots side, nobody slammed the door shut. When Eliot was asked before the draft about players on other teams, he left the idea of improving the roster open, whether that was Brown or somebody else. In the backroom world, that kind of answer matters more for what it does not block than for what it promises. Vrabel did not kill the conversation either. So when New England goes through the first 3 rounds without a receiver, the question is no longer just, why didn't they draft one? The question becomes, do they know something the fan base is still trying to piece together? I know there is risk. If Brown does not come, the criticism will be loud, because passing on 17 receivers and leaving without one will become ammunition fast. But if he does come, the whole strategy changes its face. Then the Patriots did not lose the wide receiver run. They refused to stand in a smaller line because they were waiting for the main door to open. I want to see the Foxborough read in the comments. Do you think that draft silence is real confidence in the path to A.J. Brown? Or is New England playing with too much fire for your taste? And after all that heavy smoke around receiver, here comes a topic a lot of people treat like a footnote, but inside an NFL building, it is not a footnote at all. The 3rd quarterback. The Patriots entered day 3 with Drake Maye and Tommy DeVito under contract, and Mike Vrabel had already let the intention slip at the league meetings in March. He talked about needing a 3rd arm, trying to find a young guy to develop, someone who could end up on the 53-man roster or the practice squad. That sounds simple from the outside. Inside, that is room design. Because New England is not looking for competition for Drake Maye. That is not the drama here. The drama is building the right environment around him. A young QB1 needs protection, needs weapons, needs a defense that gives the ball back, but he also needs a quarterback room that works every single day. Reps, scout team, meeting room conversation, coverage reads, preparation habits. The wrong 3rd quarterback is just a body taking up space. The right one is a quiet investment. The day 3 names all bring different flavors. Garrett Nussmeier from LSU may be the most familiar name, but he slid after a frustrating season, even though it came out that he played through a spinal cyst that caused oblique pain, something that has been treated as an issue that should not linger. He already showed big production in 2024 with 4,052 yards, but the drop-off in 2025 matters. He is the kind of player who makes a room ask, is the real talent hidden by circumstance, or did the decline reveal the limit? Cole Payton from North Dakota State is a different conversation. Left-handed, 6'3", 232 pounds, only 1 year as a starter, but he completed 71.9% of his passes for 2,719 yards, 16 touchdowns, and also ran for 777 yards and 13 scores. He was named MVP of the national team at the Senior Bowl against FBS competition, and he attended a pro day the Patriots were connected to. That stands out because contact alone does not make a pick, but it does show real curiosity. Taylon Green brings pure explosion, a 4.36 40, 6'6", rushing production, and 35 career rushing touchdowns. But the 35 interceptions and 60.7% completion rate in his final year slow down the hype. Cade Klubnik has the name that was much bigger a year ago, with 36 touchdowns in 2024 before the dip. Haynes King and Joe Fagnano feel more like late draft hunts with specific traits: mobility, experience, local efficiency, visits, pro-day contact, the kind of detail the Patriots usually weigh. That is the point. Vrabel is not chasing a headline here. He is looking for a development tool. And when a head coach talks about a third arm before the draft, I hear someone trying to build the whole room, not just the top of it. Put it all together, and the picture looks a lot less accidental than some people want to make it. Raridon is succession and hidden upside. Jacas is physical identity bought with aggression on the board. The absence of a wide receiver may be the loudest clue yet about a bigger bet involving A.J. Brown. And the third quarterback on day 3 shows Vrabel is even watching the smaller gears in the room. That is what a serious rebuild looks like behind the scenes. Protect Drake Maye, toughen the defense, preserve flexibility, and wait for the right time to strike. If you want to track every Foxborough signal without the watered-down talk, subscribe to the channel and comment which move convinced you the most.